Well, Japan has lowered its tsunami warnings after its western coastline was rocked by a series of earthquakes, the largest, a 7.6. The quakes have left many people trapped under the rubble of collapsed homes. Army units have been dispatched to help with rescue operations in the hardest hit areas. Officials are still advising residents in the coastal areas to not go home just yet because there are still fears of high waves. And joining me now is Rahul Singh, the Executive Director of GlobalMedic. Rahul, thank you very much for joining us today.
Hey, good morning, Roger.
It's been a busy time for you. You've been helping with Gaza and now Japan with the earthquakes there. What's the latest on what they're looking for help?
Well, if you look back to their 2011 earthquake, which was much bigger and had more impact and more population that were affected, you can kind of see the way it's going to unfold there. So the first thing that they're doing is deploying their military units, all their search and rescue capacity. They're trying to rescue the folks that are trapped, and then anyone that's injured, they're trying to move into the different hospitals. If they're, let's say, less injured, they're going to move them further afield to keep the closest hospitals available for the more injured. And the good news for Japan is they have tremendous hospital capacity and a very good air ambulance system. So if they have polytraumas, they can move them much further afield to other trauma centers. They have much better capacity than, let's say, a country like Haiti, which had an earthquake. So many of us this morning are thinking back 20 years ago to the Boxing Day tsunami, because it's a holiday season tsunami from 20 years ago. I think Japan is very well placed to respond to this and not ask for international help. However, if they did, agencies like ours would have field hospital units on standby, drone units on standby. I think back to when we responded in 2011 with portable water purification systems to help some of the more remote islands cope and families to get clean drinking water. And then when we came in and helped rebuild some of the industry and infrastructure there, while the rebuilding was going on. Right now, it's still really early to tell what they're going to need from an international response, but it's very much in the rescue and response phase. This is a very shallow earthquake, which is why it has more impact than, let's say, the 8.5 of a decade ago. And the only good part about this is it's, let's say, less populated than if this hit in the middle of downtown Tokyo.
Of course, a different scenario, absolutely, at that point. What has changed? Do you know what has changed from 2011 to now in Japan? What changes did they bring in to make the country safer when it comes to earthquakes?
Actually, Japan is very well prepared. Like they're one of the best nations in the world in terms of preparedness on building codes and actually being able to withstand an earthquake. They train and drill for this. You may recall, your viewers may recall that there was a nuclear incident right after the last one, right? Because it was that triple threat. It was the earthquake, a little bit of the tsunami, and then of course the nuclear incident that made it really difficult. And it was a larger population area, which is why everybody had to move. And of course the fear of the nuclear incident, delayed folks from coming back. So I don't think you see that much, changes in like say their building code like you'd see in Turkey after their most recent earthquake, because they're so well prepared for it. Right now, it's just a matter of response, save those lives, help everyone that you can. And then a lot of folks are going to be going home to, flooded areas and then damage, and then you'll have to start that rebuild, which is obviously going to be difficult. But right now in the response phase, it's just every boot possible on the ground to save as many lives as they can.
And for now, you guys are just taking a wait and see approach. No requests yet, though, for you.
Well, a little bit beyond that, we've got teams and assets and capacity ready, but that's ready to go anywhere. So we're doing some analysis, like just some of the analysis that I gave you. We're going to reach out to the government of Japan and offer those assets as well. And if they want them, we'll go. And if they just need some of our kit, we'll give them the kit. If they need our kit and people, we would give it to them. But remember, Japan is so well prepared for this that I hope it's small enough that they don't need outside help, but they are very good at this.
Okay, well, fingers crossed, and let's hope that's what happens.
Take care.
Cheers, Rahul. Thank you very much. Rahul Singh is the Executive Director of GlobalMedic.